WHJ proudly presents the Rolling Stones in concert. To see the Stones, order your tickets now. Send check or money order payable to Rolling Stones to this address. Rolling Stones, Box 2904, Hollywood 28. That's Rolling Stones, Box 2904, Hollywood 28. Be sure to include a self-addressed stamped envelope. All seats are $5.50, and the sooner you order, the better your seats will be on December 5th.
December 5th, Sunday. I died and went to heaven today. I got up and went to work, and Joe fell by about noon and said that Donna would drive us to the concert if we could get her tickets. No problem. My skin started to crawl because I was so happy I was going to go see the Rolling Stones. Finally, 3 o'clock rolled around, and I got off from work, ran home, and changed clothes. Donna and Joe came by about 4, and we were off. Donna was almost as glad as we were. She drove Joe's car at least as far as Arcadia, and then he took over. We got to the sports arena about 5. Good thing we got there a bit early because we had to get Donna a ticket. We lucked out and got her one. And she ended up with better seats than Joe and I had. Joe and I had to split the price, which was $2.75 each. The doors finally opened, and we rushed in. And since we're all sitting in different places, we agreed to meet outside after the show, and we promised not to leave, no matter how excited we got. I found my seat in sections 4A in the 12th row. I had seat 10 in the balcony. I was sitting next to this foxy little white chick who must have been about 14. She had a pair of binoculars, a southern accent, and big titties. I struck up a conversation with her, and she said that the Rolling Stones were all right, but James Brown was better. James Brown made her pussy purr. Those were her words. I was shocked by 2 things. One was her dirty mouth, and the other was her love of James Brown. I didn't know a cracker girl could dig James Brown that much. The lights went down. Everybody started screaming, but it wasn't the Rolling Stones. It was Patti Labelle and the Bluebelles. They were great. They sung their one hit, I Sold My Heart to the Junk Man, and a couple of other songs, and then they closed with You'll Never Walk Alone. Wow. Then on came the Vibrations. They did sort of a second-rate Coasters act. But they did do My Girl Sloopy, which was good. But luckily, they were over pretty quick. The lights went up. It was intermission time again. The wait was endless. The lights went down, and then the Rolling Stones. There must have been a million flashbulbs going off at once. I've never seen anything like it. Nobody went this nuts. When I saw Round Robin a couple of years ago at the Armory in DeWarty, girls were screaming and throwing their clothes at the stage. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen such power. If Mick Jagger would have said, burn Los Angeles, we would have. Where the fuck was he last August? They started off with I'm All Right, and it took off from there. I felt like I was being covered in the exhaust of 1,000 drum beats and 10,000 screaming guitar chords. Brian Jones was as cool as a cucumber, dressed in all green. What an ugly color, but he made it cool. Somebody threw up a phone book and it hit him in the stomach while he was playing electric organ on Play With Fire. It didn't even faze him. I've never seen the Beatles play, but they could never top the Rolling Stones. They were playing so fast, it was scary. I couldn't understand the words, but I could understand the feel. Sex, S-E-X. That is what rock and roll is. It starts at your feet, get the feet to tapping, then it moves up the leg to the trouser snake. It makes that old snake starts to hiss. Psst. Then it moves up to the heart. You feel like you're going to have a heart attack. That is the Rolling Stones. By the time they got to Satisfaction, the stage was littered with bras and panties. I turned to the James Brown fan, and she was pretty excited. I wanted to feel her up. Sweat and tears were running down her face. And she turned to me and said, that was something, but you got to see James Brown.